Hmm. No,
Hey, thank you so much for talking to me today. I really loved the movie. I thought it was really fantastic. Very unique. I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but like, where did this concept come from?
Outlands is one of my favorite words, and I thought Outwaters would be a cool word if it were one. And then I thought that's a great movie title, Outwaters. And
Yeah.
then images started coming from just thinking about that as a film title. So that's how it started.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think one of the things that like really struck me about the film is the use of sound and how even before it gets really trippy, we'll say, I'll keep it spoiler free, but it gets very weird. But even before that, it just gave me this kind of tension and uneasiness. So I'd love to hear about your process with the sound design of the film.
Lots of experimentation, lots of sound libraries, shaking things in my apartment to make it sound like an earthquake. But really just once I realized that the possibilities are limitless with sound, and you can create a lot of moments um, that don't exist on camera, it really became like a really fun passion project side of the film for like it was like a whole new project once the film was completed. So it was about 2 years of experimentation.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely tell that a lot of like care was put into, again, it's such a mood piece, and I know that maybe sounds pretentious, but like it really is all about the dread and atmosphere. And I mean, like I said, even before stuff goes horribly sideways, you just have this just like creeping dread.
But I love a mood piece, so I don't find that
Uh,
pretentious. So, I most of my original films from like middle school and high school, and even college were silent films in terms of without dialogue. So mood and telling stories visually has been something I've had a lot of practice at. So yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
that's
Well,
awesome. So I'm sure you're getting bombarded with like questions of like, what does the movie mean, or like what are certain aspects. Are you? Which makes me curious because I'm not going to ask you that, but I am going to ask you like, um, David Lynch famously doesn't really tell what his movies are about, or like, so I was kind of wondering, are you the same way? Do you like to keep it ambiguous?
yeah, well, it's just kind of silly. Like, oh, here's my movie, and then like, and here's what you're supposed to take away from it, and here's what it means. Like, the movie should do that for you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And what kind of fun is that to have the director come be like, oh, this is what it means.
Yeah. I
Um, in this case, I mean, maybe not for all movies, but in this case, it was definitely like, it's way more fun. And I've already read a few reviews with very like elaborate theories. Why would I like come in and take that away from someone?
Yeah.
It's like lame.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it in a way demystifies it. Like I know like one of the other movies that I love on Twitter, Outwaters and Skinamarink kind of go back and forth a little bit. And that too is another movie that kind of has multiple interpretations. So I'm assuming you've seen that one. You're a fan of that one.
Love it. Yeah, no, Outwaters and Skinamarink like go out to the gay bar together all the time and do that.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
Outwaters is a little messy and Skinamarink probably like helps Outwaters get home at night, you know, but definitely good friends,
Yeah.
wingmen.
All right. I love that analogy. I was gonna say it kind of makes me love both movies even more now, if that was possible. But um, yeah, I think it would be so cool. I mean, I know everyone thinks crossovers are maybe lame now, but I could see those two movies, those two worlds maybe colliding or vibing.
I thought this is totally not, don't take it seriously. I was just joking with Kyle about it, but I was like, wouldn't it be funny if you directed Outwaters 2 and I directed Skinamarink 2? I don't actually want that to happen, but I just thought
Yeah.
it was a funny idea.
Yeah, no, that would be pretty wild. So the movie's doing really great. Are you kind of what do you think of the reception so far with audiences?
It's about what I expected. I went through almost 3 years of test screening it with friends, people in my life, people who don't like horror movies, people who do like horror movies. I had my friends and people that I don't know fill out like 3-page critical feedback forms. So all of the criticisms I'm seeing of it now, the seems like most people like it, but the criticisms I'm seeing I've already considered and thought about, and the reception so far is not a surprise. I expected what's happening right now.
Yeah, no, and that's interesting because I know, like, as someone that is a critic, and I mean, I love movies, of course, love all genres, but especially horror. Like, I try to be like constructive
Mhm.
with my critiques, and I think it's kind of great when like filmmakers kind of like take that in the right spirit, I guess, and use it as a tool to grow. Because let's face it, like even your favorite movies are not perfect, right?
Some
Like
of them are. I mean, have you seen Crossroads with Britney Spears?
I have not.
Perf.
Perfect. Okay.
No. Yeah, no, the movie, I had a lot of feedback that I incorporated over the years. So I'm very much into people having better ideas, or figuring out a better way to do things. But at the point when this came out, I had already incorporated all the feedback that seemed possible at the time. So yeah.
Nice. And I mean, that's really interesting about being open to sort of like a market focused, kind of way of maybe, I'm trying to think how I want to say this, like harnessing ideas or seeing what's most effective. Would you say that like that's something you're open to as far as like future movies, as like testing with audiences or kind of gauging feedback like that?
It would depend on the specific situation. Sometimes, I mean, and it's more, for me, it would always be geared towards what's the better movie, not what's the most marketable
Yeah.
necessarily. Which obviously, if is it going to be a problem for some producers, if it's someone else's money that's being put up, I understand why they would want something that's the most marketable. But I'm more interested in getting feedback to see if something's working, or to make the best like art that I can make. Um,
Yeah. And
so.
maybe I should have said marketing because like I get what you're saying. It's like just to kind of gauge of like, are people connecting with a certain thematic element or plot line? And yeah, I'll put Crossroads on my watch list.
No, it's fun. It's Britney Spears.
And I'll blame it on you. But anyways,
No, actually, that's an interesting. I'm trying to think of like a movie I think of as perfect. I think the longest cut of Terrence Malick's The New World is just like a thing of complete beauty and like perfect to me.
yeah.
So
And yeah, so I mean the movie's it's awesome that it's doing great. And I'm sure it's probably early days for talking about like any specifics, but is there like any kind of tease for an upcoming project that you can like talk about at this stage?
my new movie, Tinsman Road, which I shot while I was editing The Outwaters, will premiere at a festival in San Francisco in a month. So
Oh, nice.
it's it's a it's a little bit it's not a wild and crazy movie like The Outwaters. Different story and vibe, a little bit more straightforward storytelling. But yeah, no, I already made it. So so
Oh, all right. So
I'm gonna have a busy early first quarter. Um, but yeah, but after that, I'm not sure. I also like to do music, and I want to write some short stories and stuff like that too. So
oh,
just
nice.
kind of mix it up. Also, I
Uh,
need like just like a vacation and to like make out with some people at like bars.
yeah. All right. I mean that hey, listen, that's good. That's good life goals for anybody, really, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, like well-deserved break. I mean, shooting like two movies kind of you said pretty much like back to back. You were saying you were editing that one while you were um yeah, so that's amazing. I probably am almost out of time.
I'm pretty jealous of your Halloween box set because I couldn't get the one with the pumpkin on it.
Oh, um yeah, it's a nice one. I think it's kind of cool we're getting the 4Ks now too.
Have some of those.
Oh, nice. Yeah, do you have a pretty good collection yourself or?
Yeah, I'm a big physical media person,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
if I
same
don't
here.
see a film in the theater, but I want to see it, I usually buy it before I rent it. Just buy it,
Nice.
which is why I
So
had no money and had to make a found footage movie.
oh, absolutely. Well, I am so excited to get your movie on physical media sometime. I know they tease that on the I follow the official Twitter like religiously. So
Thank
that's
you.
exciting. And thank you so much for talking to me. And again, everyone needs to see the Outwaters. It's amazing. I will
Thank you.
link in the description where y'all can find showtimes. And thank you again.
Thanks. It was really fun to meet you and long live physical media.